Yeah, man, what go on? What's good? What's popping? From a hear the voice, you know it's none other than Brando. And when you hear our voice, you say, yeah, man, a top shelf update time, man. A top shelf review time, top shelf reasoning. So this was a glad to hear the voice, though. So here what go down, you know me glad for though. You know, before me get to that, the Vybz Kartel case final day for arguments concluded, take place. Everything June 18. Saying, and what you need to know, and what you probably know already, but want some more clarification and explanation upon. You get to me and say, we're there for that. First thing first, after the closing, the judge said that the decision will be given by the 31st of July. That does not mean it will be given on the 31st of July by, which means from the date when it closes off, which is June 18 to July 31, we are expected to get a verdict. So within that time frame. So when I hear 31, yeah. Now, because of that now, some persons have been like, yo, John, why it have to take so long or whatever. The judge, the lawyer, everybody agree that this case is not a normal case. It have a lot of pages for go over, for look through. And as we hear the judge say from day one, act one, scene one, this is a very important case, and the eyes of the nation, the eyes of the world are on this case to see Jamaica judiciary system. You get to me I say? The eyes of the world is on Jamaica right now because of the popularity of Vybz Kartel. So before I go any further, I'm going to ask you to like this video for the clarification, the explanation, and the knowledge that will be provided. So I give you some time for that. You like the video? Alright, give thanks, my G. Give thanks, miss. So we proceed. One of the first things that we need to talk about as it relates to this case, and that we have been mentioning before, is the publicity of the case and how important it is to this case. Now, the judge has stated already that the argument that the prosecution put forward about Oscar Pistorius and Bill Cosby was not fitting. Each case needs to be judged on each merit. You see me, and that's what I pointed out. There's a big difference in those cases. You have to talk about publicity of 13 years, where not similar to the first case. Now, the lawyer named John Clark, and I think that the lawyer there has delivered some of the more telling punches, so to speak, against the prosecution. He raised an issue yesterday on the final day where he must say a 25 pieces of evidence was submitted the last time by the prosecution. Right now, them only have 16, which is a decrease. The next thing is that yesterday the prosecution informed the judge that them have all 22 witnesses. Now, informing the judge and the judge wanting sworn statements and more evidence that the witnesses were available is two different things. So we're going to see how that play out, because when the judge give them ruling, it will be a written thing, So they might read out the verdict and think, but it's something we are going to written. So they going to adjust every point more than likely. Don't know if they might read it out or they might just do it like the Privy Council and just focus on one point. But a lot of things will be addressed. So the evidence of an issue, the witnesses have an issue as it relates to retrial. Now, what the prosecution argues is that you can't just throw this thing on a technicality. You see me, justice, the interest of justice must be served, because that is why we are here. You see me? And I'm going to hear something.
The stark question was put to the prosecution after Justice McDonald Bishop expressed her discomfort with the fact that two other murder cases sent back to the Supreme Court in the last 6 years were yet to be retried. The justice noted that in one of the matters, the accused is alleged to have beheaded his spouse, while in the other, a policeman is accused of murdering a 14-year-old child. Justice McDonald Bishop wanted to know what distinguishes the murder of Clive Lizard Williams, which would cause the prosecution to seem to be prioritizing this case above the others.
So people, the judge asks a question, and I tell you it's a question where a lot of persons have been asking. Why is that there is more priority being given to this case than the others. Now, I have two answers for you. One, it may seem like there is more priority being given to this case than the others because this one have more publicity. We have to put that out there. We could be fair. So, none of we don't know about the other case because it is not as public. We don't even know about a retrial now, whatever. Because to we, when we hear certain news, are just characters and those people involved in a crime and crime reach them. Them not have no face, them not no name, them not no meaning to it. Vybz Kartel name up front and everybody know. The second thing I'm going to say is the popularity of Vybz Kartel, which is basically the same thing what I say. That is the reason why there is so much interest in this case. Now, one could say, yeah, because a cartel and everybody know about it, so in the interest of everybody wanting to know, I could put that one here first, which are the natural thing to say. But there's also an undertone to this argument where a lot of people feel like, is Vybz Kartel being targeted? Why him? Why always him? And I think that are the question where a lot of people ask, and that are the answer where a lot of people, it still come back to Cartel. The popularity of Cartel leads to the publicity of this case, lead to the interest from the justice system, the interest from the prosecution, and of course the interest from us.
The senior jurist questioned out loud why the prosecution was placing a higher premium on Williams' murder than in the other cases that were sent back for trial. Justice MacDonald Bishop pointed out that in the other cases, one victim was a female and the other was a child. She wanted to know what would place Williams' case above the other two, which have yet to be retried.
Now, just a little recap for those who don't remember what took place. From the first day of the trial, or the hearing I should say, the judge had asked for an audit into the last 6 years to see what has taken place with the retrials where did get order from 2018 till now. The audit come back and finds only two cases, one from 2022 and one from 2023. Those are the cases that have been just mentioned a while ago. Now, in the two cases, the judge is asking why is it that there is more priority going to be given to this case over those cases, because in those cases, a retrial date has not been set as yet. So, the prosecution get caught between a rock and a hard place right there. So if them say, boy, because of the popularity of this and so forth and so like what we know, and Vybz Kartel for them and say, then I wouldn't care about the 14-year-old and the woman in a them case. You get to me and say, and if it is that you prioritize and push forward this over them cases from 2023 and 2022, what does that say about those other cases in terms of the victims, in terms of everybody involved? So it's like them get caught between a rock and a hard place right there, so. You see me?
Acting DPP Claudette Thompson told the court that the prosecution was not concerned solely about victims or placing a premium on one murder over another. She told the justices that Cartel's matter could be distinguished from the other two because the Crown was ready to proceed and its witnesses were in place. Justice MacDonald Bishop noted that the question she posed was necessary because, should the court order a retrial, it would affect the administration of justice in other matters currently awaiting retrial. The acting DPP told the court that a retrial in the Cartel matter was important due to the seriousness of the murder, the nature of the crime, the prevalence of murder, the strength of the case against the men, and the fact that the witnesses are available. The senior prosecutor also told the court that the public interest in the matter demands that the case be tried on its merits and not merely dismissed on a technicality.
So there you have it. The prosecution, they must say, yo, we have all of the witnesses them ready. So they must reiterate the point. You see me, they must go through the point again, repeat, for say, yo, we have all of the witness them. You see me, so it's like them try to say there are certain boxes that are ticked in this case. We're not ticked in the other one them. So that is why we are going along with this. You get to me and say, and in the interest of the public. And them come back with another point again for say, don't just dismiss the case on a technicality. And that is a narrative where I push out. And again, I'm going to say this. That technicality is the abuse of constitutional rights. It is the unprofessionalism of the prosecution. It is the it is a justice system that is in shambles. That is what they call a technicality, right? So that's what I call it the own goal. It's a own goal that them appeal to the ref say, add some more time. It's a own goal score. Make them go find a way for who score the first goal for themselves. Decide who win this. You get to me and say, and we know we're talking about a criminal case, so using football probably not go adequately describe it. But some persons will better get the analogy, better get the example because we all play football. That technicality, whether you want to say, boy, you have a thing in a football where a man say, oh, it's a penalty, them have to score for win. Because I'm kick down the man in the box and him score the penalty. Because him score the one goal. Listen, there's a thing where I go on. Adversarial relationship that take place, you versus me. There's many ways I can win and there's many ways you can win. You get to me and say, you have a duty and a role and I have a duty and a role, and we all have to do it within the confines of the game. I tell you already, it coming like football, it coming like debate, it coming like clash, one versus the other, and there are certain rules. And if you break the rules, it's like you forfeit the game in some way. You see me? What the prosecution has done, they have broken the rules, and even even the judge them in a way, the judiciary system. So they come like say you watch back the match and say the ref give offside when him never did forget offside. You get to me and say? Yeah, so it's like you say, Jaja, the line them never drop on the VAR and them thing. But anyway, the point is this. Zane, Vybz Kartel and his co-accused, I believe, will be set free based upon the evidence that has been provided in the media, the questions that the judge them are asked. Them give them final arguments, which basically them sum up everything what them say. Me hear the rest first. Hold on.
Miss Thompson told the judges that the cost of a retrial should not be weighed too heavily because no price should be placed on a citizen's life, regardless of the character of the victim in the matter. The office of the DPP is seeking to retry Vybz Kartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, Sean Campbell, Andre St. John, and Kahira Jones.
Yeah, so right there, so if you notice, she changed her tone and her words. She said, so much weight shouldn't be put on the amount of money that is spent. So before, it's like, she did seem like nonchalant, like she never cared how much money spent. They will just have to find the money. Now she changed because she realized that the cost is also important, as the judge pointed out to her. Cost is important, and you have to remember and you have to put everything in a context, you know. So it's not for isolate cost out there and say, oh, so we are say because it costs too much, the man not forget no justice. No. That is a factor. You got to put in the time will pass. Will there be a fair trial? You got to look on the resources. Will it be able to mount these resources? You got to look on the evidence. Is there enough evidence? You got to look on the witness. Do they have confirmation the witness are there? You got to look on the public. So you got to put out about 5 to 6 points in front of you and see which one it more lean towards. Retrial or not. So probably number one, I say, all right, retrial witness, so no retrial witness. And then now, based upon say if a 4 out of 7 or 5 out of 7 or 6 out of 7. But here what the prosecution do, the prosecution I say if a 6 out of 7, right, you have to still retry the case because you have one, and one is all is needed. Because you have to remember the gentleman now. So that's how the argument to the prosecution put forward. You get to me and say, don't just make it be the majority. It have to be unanimous. 7 out of 7 points for them. There's no way there could be a retrial. And that are the argument why me think in a way it sounds like the prosecution are losers. So because the prosecution no longer want a 4 out of 7 majority or a 5 out of 7. Them I say if it even you're gonna go down to 5 out of 2. Give it a chance. The only way you never give it a chance is if it's 7 out of 7. Them get. But I could see where I unfold, you know. We don't have nothing else to say. I know how you feel. I'm out.